Power outages are never planned. We never know when they're going to happen. If you don't want to be left in the dark, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Larry from Under the Median, and tonight we continue our monthly series on product reviews. Tonight I'm going to be looking at products that help out in an unexpected power outage. 2 of these items we've purchased and 1 was sent to us. All 3 are very important and quite helpful in the event of a power outage. We've had some really unusual severe weather this spring in the Midwest. With the event of severe weather comes the possibility of power outages due to high winds. These power outages can range from a few hours to several days, and it's nice to have a few things on hand to help get you through. One of the most important things that you're going to need during a power outage is lighting. Most storms occur at night, and that's when you're going to be out of lights. If you're out of power, you generally don't have any lights. The first, and I think the most important item you're going to need during a summer storm power outage is a lantern, a really good LED lantern. And hybrid light makes this really nice 600 lumen lantern. One of the greatest features, and this is what I like the very best about it, is that it has this solar panel on top in order to do the charging. You can leave this lantern in a window all year round, and this will stay charged from that solar panel. You can also charge it using a micro USB port that's located here on the front. Another nice feature about this lantern that I really like about it is that you can use it to run your cell phone for short periods of time during a power outage if you need to and your battery's down on your cell phone to make some emergency phone calls. The lantern is extremely bright. It goes from 25 lumens up to 600, and that's just some increments in the switch, or you can just hold it and then it'll gradually increase to 600 lumens. And that is a very bright light. That puts out plenty to work as an area light. It'll light up a whole room. Of course, it'll be great for finding items that you're going to need in the dark. Maybe you've got to get your sump pump going or get a generator going. This is a great item to have on hand to help you get around in the house. If you're interested in this lantern, Hybrid Light will give you 20% off a purchase if you use the coupon code UTM20. So that takes care of our lighting. The next important thing that you're going to want when you're out of power is information. You're going to want to know how long is the power going to be out, what caused it, what to expect. And for that, you may not be able to get on the internet. It depends on how many wires are cut or what the conditions are. The next item on our emergency list is this Kato Voyager emergency radio. And this is the model KA500. This is a highly rated radio. I've noticed on a lot of different websites that do product reviews for emergency radios, they list this one as their #1 radio to have for an emergency. And there's many reasons for that. Let's take a look at some of the features that are on the radio that I particularly like. The Kaito radio has 4 different bands on it to receive radio signals. The first is the weather radio.
At 11 p.m. in Peoria, skies were mostly cloudy. The temperature was 38 degrees.
The weather radio just picks up the NOAA weather station that happens to be in your area. The next band that I think is very important is AM that it has. AM will pick up your local radio stations in your area, and also within about 160 miles from your house, it will also pick up surrounding stations from major cities. At night, you can pull stations from as far away as 600 to 700 miles.
42 degrees in Atlanta, clear and cold tonight, low 33.
I've actually pulled in New York City, Toronto, Canada.
This is Zoomer Radio Toronto, CFZM FM and CFZM AM.
Dallas, Texas, all over the United States with just this little radio. It has a very sensitive tuner, which is very important in emergencies. If your local radio stations are not able to operate, then you can get your news and information from a surrounding station. The next band that it has on it has 2 bands of shortwave, shortwave 1 and shortwave 2. Now there's not as much on shortwave as there used to be, but this radio will pick up really good shortwave stations.
Full. We transmit worldwide. WTWW, Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America.
I bet you're just having fun tonight, aren't you?
It's very sensitive and selective. With shortwave, you have to tune a little bit slower. It's a little more selective. Those bands are very narrow, so you have to be a little bit more careful. But I like the way this radio is designed in that it has the old-fashioned analog dial. That's this ruler dial that you used to see on the old radios in the 60s and 70s. With this type of a dial, you can go very quickly across the shortwave band and find stations that are on the air. The same is true for AM as well. This is a much simpler way to tune, and you want it as simple as possible in an emergency or a power outage. There are many ways to power this radio, and this is what sets it apart from a regular standard radio. For one, you have a crank. You can crank this radio for power. When you crank it for 30 seconds, you actually get 2 minutes of radio time out of the radio if the battery's dead. And if you crank it for, let's say, 4 minutes, you'll get 10 minutes of airplay. Now, this radio comes with nickel metal hydride batteries. They're kind of small, and they're right there in the compartment. And those batteries are the ones that are being charged off of this crank when you're cranking it up. But there's so many other ways to charge it. It comes with a small solar panel on the back, and this is the panel here for the solar. You flip it up, and that's actually an area light, but we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But you can charge this, have it in a window. As long as you have direct sunlight coming in, that will charge that battery some. I find the very best way to charge it, though, in an event of a power outage, and this will operate the radio as well, is to use a portable power bank. And all you have to do is plug that into the USB port on the power bank, and on the back there's a micro USB port that you plug that into. And right now you can see by that green LED light that that's actually charging those batteries. So that will operate that radio for hours and hours if you just want to run it off of a power bank. As long as you can run it off of the USB, you can plug this into the wall with one of the wall outlet adapters and run that endlessly off of power. One more way to power it, there's yet one more to do, and this is what makes it such a neat radio, is you can put 3 AA batteries in the back here, and that will power that for quite a while. And you can use rechargeable AA batteries, and then that way you can just keep those charged up and running as well. So see how many ways that you have to power the radio. You can power it off of the nickel metal hydride batteries that it comes with, the AA batteries, or a power bank. So this makes it a very versatile radio. It's a great way to get information when you need it. In addition to radio broadcasts, this radio also gives you the option for some lighting. There's a switch right there on the top, that silver switch. You slide that, and that will give you an area light on the back. That's not a real bright light, but it's enough to light up some reading material, or just to see, maybe to get around a room. It's not going to light the room up like this hybrid lantern is going to do, though, so don't expect that. And then when you switch this one more click, then you get the dial light, and this is really handy. Most of these portable radios have maybe a dial light button that'll light up, and it'll light that dial for just a short period of time. This one stays lit all the time as long as that switch is on. In addition to the dial light, it has a little flashlight here on the end. So very versatile radio, and I think it's a very practical emergency product. If you're enjoying this video, remember to like, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to our channel, and that will give you more access to frugal videos that Hope and I produce. We actually produce 2 of those a week, if you're not familiar with us. Well, the next item that I'm going to talk about, and I think this is one of the most important things to have on hand during a power outage, is a portable power station. Now, they make these in many shapes and sizes. There's really small ones that will just supply a small amount of power, and then there's really big ones. This is, I would call, a medium-sized one at this point, because they make units that are far larger than this 2,000 watt unit. This is the Pecron E2000, and it can supply a lot of power for you. Pecron sent this unit to us several months ago to evaluate, and I've been using it almost daily since they've sent it, and I'm very impressed with the unit. It has a lot of really good engineering involved in its design. The first advantage on the Pecron is its price. This is one of the most reasonably priced power stations on the market. The list price for this right now is right around $1,100. That is totally amazing. Most power stations are about $1 a watt, so you could expect to pay about $2,000 for a 2,000 watt unit. So Pecron's running this at about half of the cost that you would normally expect to pay. It comes with a 2,000 watt inverter. That means you can run a load on it up to 2,000 watts. It also has a 1,920 watt lithium battery. That's the capacity of the battery. This unit has the better lithium iron phosphate batteries. Now, a lot of units just have a lithium ion battery, and those are fine. That's what's in your phone. That's what's in most small portable devices. A lot of power stations have that kind of a power to them. Most electric bikes do as well. The advantage of a lithium iron phosphate battery is that it will take up to about 3,500 charges. And that means after 3,500 charges, it will still have 80% of its battery capacity. And if you add that up, that means that you can use this unit daily for 10 years before you'll get to that point. So that makes it a very durable product. The only disadvantage of lithium ion batteries is that they weigh a little bit more. So this unit with the batteries weighs in at about 48 pounds. Fortunately, on the Pecron website, they do sell a cart you can put this on with wheels. So if weight is a problem, you can pull it around your house on a cart. That makes transporting the power station much easier. One of the things that they've engineered into this unit is that you can expand it. So you can buy extra batteries that plug into a side port over here to bring it up to 8,000 watt hours. That is a lot of power. So you can bring this unit from 2,000 all the way up to 8,000 watt hours. There are many ways that this can supply power for you, and this is what's important. You need to know how it works. So on the front of it, all of these outlets are covered. There are actually 6 AC outlets, and that is almost an unheard of amount for a 2,000 watt power station. So you can plug quite a bit into it. As long as you don't exceed the total 2,000 watt range, you're fine. The other thing that it comes with is several kinds of ways to supply your DC. It comes with 4 USB-A ports and 2 USB-C. One of the USB-C ports is a 100 watt port, so you can really do some fast charging using that one. In addition to these, there's a 12 volt car cord access here for anything that you might have that uses that kind of supply. In addition to all of that, on the top, it has an area here for wireless charging for your iPhone or cell phone. There's 2 ways to turn this unit on. You either turn on the DC or you can turn on the AC separately, or you can turn on both. But you just press and hold this for a couple of seconds, and that brings that power up. And it will show you on the display what you have on. Right now, I have the AC and DC on because it's showing AC out and DC out. So if I just hold the AC, that shuts the AC off. And if I hold the DC, that shuts the whole unit off. So it's completely shut off. But let me turn it back on. And the thing I like about this display is that this display lights up bright like this, and then it goes to a dim mode and it stays on constantly. That is something I really liked about this unit that sets it apart from so many others where the display just goes black after about 30 seconds. Right now it's charged at 99%. It's showing the battery icon there. It's all the little segments are filled up. And then it's telling me right now it'll run for 633 hours on the current load. Well, there's no load on it right now, so that's just showing what the battery would do. When you plug something in, then it gives you an accurate readout on how long it's going to run under that load, and that's for DC and for AC. It also tells you how many watts are going out and how many watts are going into the unit when it's charging. Another thing I really like about the unit is the AC charger that they give you. This is a robust charger. This charger charges at about 549 watts. So it will charge this unit up in about 4 hours or less. It's amazingly fast. The other way that it can be charged besides AC, it does come with, actually, it comes with a real nice carrying case for your solar charging cables, and it has 2 of those, and then your car DC charging. This is the car adapter that fits into your cigarette lighter, and that plugs in right here on top, and that will take a long time to charge. So I think it takes about 20 hours to charge, because this only charges at the most at about 100 watts. So you're thinking 100 watts going into a 2,000 watt unit, that's going to take about 20 hours if it's all the way down. But if you're on a trip, you're camping, you're traveling, and you want to be charging this up while you're on the way, that's certainly a good way to do it. Then when you get to the campsite, you can take out your solar panels and finish it off. For solar, it's a really amazing how fast you can charge this if you have all of the panels. For solar charging, you can actually charge it up to 1,200 watts. Each of these down here are your connection for your solar charging. And each of these have separate MPPT charge controllers. So this is 600 watts and this one is 600 watts. So if you have 600 and 600, you got 1,200 going into it, you can charge this up in a very quick time, about 2 hours, and you'll have it fully charged if you've got good sunlight. And that's amazing speed. Also, if you want to get another one of these adapters, you can plug in 2 of these adapters at the same time and charge it at about 1,100 watts. So that would really charge it up very fast as well. In the event of an approaching storm and you don't have this charged, that is a good thing to be able to do, is plug it in a few hours in advance of the storm, and this will be charged and you'll be all ready. This will power anything in your home, like your microwave, your refrigerator, freezer, CPAP machine, popcorn popper, coffee maker, anything that uses up to but not exceeding 2,000 watts, this will supply power for. I've tried running the refrigerator off of a unit just like this one, and it would actually run my refrigerator at this capacity for about a day and a half. So that is good. It will do that. It'll run our garage door opener. It'll actually do the washer and dryer. Our dryer happens to be gas. Now, if it were electric, this would not supply enough power to run a 220 electric dryer, but it will run a gas dryer. So there really isn't much in your house that this can't run. It will run our furnace. We've actually had this hooked up to our furnace in an emergency, and it would run that. I have the furnace set up so that I can unplug it from the wall outlet and plug it into a portable power station to be used during a power outage. Once again, if you're interested in the Pecron E2000 LFP, we'll leave a link in the description of this video to their website. Hope and I have found these 3 products to be very essential in times of a power outage. Hope and I did a little more extended video on what to have on hand during summer power outages. If you're interested in taking a look at that, it's right over there.